Hello, hotel. I would like to book one night, please. Okay, that'll be $200. I'm actually gonna be using this card, so I think should be free. And I should be getting free breakfast for two. Free late checkout plus early check-in. I don't think... Oh, and of course, a complimentary upgrade based on availability. No. You can't get any of that. You don't have any status here, you've never stayed here before, and I forgot to mention, this is a benefit of my American Express Platinum. And I don't just mean taking the points on this card, transferring it to a partner and booking. No, this is actually one of the more underrated features of the American Express Platinum, where you're gonna get a $200 hotel credit plus some goodies. So in today's video, we're going over the top 8 hidden features of the American Express Platinum and discussing how some people might be actually using this card wrong. And if you'd like to support the channel anyway, feel free to check out the affiliate link in the description box. And real quick, let's level set on the American Express Platinum with the high-level overview of the sign-up bonus, earnings, benefits, annual fee, and whether or not it makes sense. So sign-up bonus for the American Express Platinum. It ranges anywhere from 80 to 100,000 points after you spend $6,000 in 6 months. Earnings. This card will earn 5 points for every single dollar that you spend booking airfare direct with an airline or through Amex Travel, 5 points per dollar spent on prepaid hotels through Amex Travel, and 1 point per dollar spent everywhere else. Benefits. There are a slew of benefits with the American Express Platinum. Some of the ones to call out are its credits, namely a $200 Uber credit, a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit, a $240 entertainment credit that can be used for things like Disney Plus month over month. In addition, the American Express Platinum also offers transfer partners. So you earn points from the American Express Platinum and you transfer them to hotels or airlines. One of my preferred go-tos is transferring to British Airways and booking flights on there. In addition, as a premium travel card, this card is gonna give you things like lounge access to the Priority Pass network, as well as offering you a $100 credit to Global Entry, which is expedited entry back in the US plus TSA pre-check. Now there's a whole slew of other hidden benefits that we're gonna talk about right in the next section. Annual fee. This card does come with a hefty $695 annual fee. Even if we take out some of the credits, I would say most people are gonna pay anywhere from $100 to $200 a year for the card. And so the question becomes, who is this card for? I would say for everybody. Jump on for the year 1 sign-up bonus. Absolutely no questions asked. I think it's worth it to pay a $100 to even $300 plus effective annual fee to get a sign-up bonus from American Express. However, in year 2, my recommendation is if you are not a road warrior, if you do not travel through American Express's Centurion Lounge airports a ton, if you're not really able to maximize every single credit from the card, call them for a retention offer. If they offer you a retention offer, keep the card. Here's an example where I got 50,000 points just to keep the card. I literally said, hey, I'm not getting value from the card, I like to close it, is there a retention offer? And they said, actually, yes there is, send. So you could do that, and if they do not offer you a retention offer, then I'd probably consider closing the card if you don't fit into one of those 3 categories mentioned earlier. And a quick note. By virtue of having American Express Platinum, I just want you all to know that it doesn't make anyone special or unique. It seems to be that this card gets conflated with status often, and to me, it's honestly kind of stupid, largely because of the fact that the card is actually really bad in daily spend environments. And so I just want you all to know, whether you're looking for an American Express Platinum, the qualifications are the same if you're looking for a Chase Sapphire Reserve, Capital One Venture X, heck, even some of the no annual fee cards. So please do not conflate this credit card with status, all right? It is a credit card that serves a purpose, which is getting you benefits, whether it be for traveling or saving money or purchase protections. That's it. First tip. Hotel Elite status. You might have gone in to check into a hotel and you might have requested for an upgrade, only to be told, sorry sir, there's none available. But yet the person next to you comes in, makes the same request, and they get upgraded. Why? Well, that's because they have Elite status. There's a couple ways to earn Elite status. One is to do it the old-fashioned way. Stay at the hotel a bunch, show your loyalty, spend a bunch of money, and they'll give you some status. The other way is just using a credit card. And just by holding the American Express Platinum, you can automatically enroll in Elite status with Marriott as well as Hilton, granting you gold status with each chain. And if you wanted to earn it the old-fashioned with Marriott, you would have had to spend 25 nights in a year. Instead, having the card, you have it automatically, and by having gold status, you're gonna get 25% more points when you stay at a Marriott. You'll get priority late checkout up to 2 p.m., and of course, the upgrades based on availability. On the Hilton side, it would have required you to stay 40 nights at a Hilton in 1 year. And when you have gold status with Hilton, you'll get things like continental breakfast, 80% more bonus points. To get gold status, all you need to do is enroll online, and it's a click of a button. Now, I will say, when it comes to status in the United States, gold is not gonna get you too far because there's so many business travelers, there's so many people with credit cards that they're gonna have higher elite status. However, when you're traveling abroad, specifically in places like Asia or maybe even Europe, that elite status could put you further up in head and might even grab you that upgrade. For example, I was a lowly silver status when I stayed at a hotel in Bali, but even that silver status ended up not only getting me an upgrade, but they found me at the buffet breakfast to thank me for my loyalty. That's kind of insane because silver, I mean, drop in a bucket here, you'd be lucky if they even gave you a free water bottle. 2. Lounge benefits. I don't know about you, but rushing to the airport 3 hours early to buy an overpriced cold cut sandwich and then going to fight tooth and nail for an outlet next to the gate is not really my idea of fun before a vacation or a flight. What if instead you could go to a lounge, kick back, where there might be free food, free drinks, maybe even take a shower beforehand? That is 100% possible with lounge access. And lounge access is granted by many credit cards. In fact, the majority of premium travel cards are gonna give you what's called a Priority Pass membership, which grants you access to the Priority Pass lounges. What makes the American Express special is the fact that they have their own lounges and they are probably some of the best in the country. But did you know that you also have access to some lounges abroad, which honestly are chef's kisses? For example, American Express also has a Centurion Lounge both in Sydney as well as in Hong Kong. I've been to both of them and they are both absolutely stunning lounges. In addition, the American Express Platinum also gets you access to Lufthansa's Business Class Lounge or Senator Lounges. These are the lounges that are actually reserved for whether it be frequent flyers of the Lufthansa group or folks with Star Alliance status. But just by way of having an American Express Platinum and taking a flight on a Lufthansa group airline, you're able to access Lufthansa's business as well as Senator lounges. The only caveat is it's at select locations, but regardless, that's absolutely insane to me as a benefit because the only other way to gain access is you have to either be flying a premium cabin or you have elite status from an airline, which is much more difficult to obtain. So next time you're flying economy, whether it be on Lufthansa, on Swiss Airlines, or on Austrian Airlines, make sure you have your American Express Platinum because you might be able to just waltz into the business class lounge. 3. Travel protections. I know it, you know it. Airlines, there's always delays. I don't know what it is. Ever since coming out of 2019, we've just accepted the fact that my flight is either gonna be delayed or canceled. And so we have to rely on what's the airline policy on reimbursement? Is it covered by EU 261? Does the airline have their own policy? But one thing that's often overlooked is the fact that there are travel protections on credit cards, and the American Express Platinum has some great travel protections. So for one, if your flight is delayed, starting at 6 hours, you can file a claim for up to $500 per trip in up to 2 claims every 12 months. $500 can be used to cover necessities like food, potentially lodging if the airline does not provide it, as well as transport and things you are going to need when your flight is delayed 6 hours. Just be sure that you use your American Express Platinum to book round fare travel. In addition to trip delay, it also offers trip cancellation or interruption insurance. Now, this is more of an insurance for some medical issue or something that's gonna prevent you from being able to continue onward on your trip. However, it's good to know that you've got coverage for up to $10,000 per claim and up to $20,000 per claim in a 12-month rolling period. 4. Purchase protection. One of my favorite features of the American Express Platinum, and this is return protection. I have absolutely used this way back in the day when I purchased Snapchat goggles from Target. They're not it. It just wasn't it. I bought them, I used them, it was not great. It was past Target's return policy, and at the time, the return protection was up to $300 per item, up to 120 days from purchase. Target's electronics return policy was 90 days, and so I filed a claim with American Express, and promptly they issued me a check for the amount and said, keep the goggles. Now, obviously, you're not gonna do it to game the system, but that's generally how they do it, is keep the item, here's your check. Nowadays, the return policy covers up to $300 per claim, but it's within 90 days of purchase of the said item, and you can file up to $1,000 of claims per calendar year. And the retailer that sticks out for me is Apple. It's an absolute shame that I believe Apple still has a 2-week return policy. So this is a place that, hey, let's say you bought AirPods, let's say you're not a fan of them, and it's been 3 weeks. Guess what? You can just go ahead and file a claim with American Express, and they should be able to just issue a check. Another purchase protection that I absolutely love on the American Express Platinum is called purchase protection. So what this does is it covers your item that you purchased. Within 90 days of purchase, if the item is damaged, stolen, or lost, you can file a claim for up to $10,000 per item and up to $50,000 of claims in a calendar year. That to me is insane because most of these cards are gonna give you purchase protection for something that is stolen or damaged. Makes sense. But lost? Yeah, you heard me, lost. The example I use all the time is AirPods. You're out on a jog, hunky-dory, boop, AirPod falls out, falls into a sewer drain. I'm not getting that. Well, luckily, I purchased the item using my American Express Platinum, filed a claim with Amex, and for the most part, as long as the loss is valid and it's not mysteriously disappeared, you're gonna go ahead and be able to get a check. I mean, that right there, like this benefit sells itself. This is why I always put, whether it's small objects or things that I'm like, oh, I don't know, I always put on my American Express Platinum because I know that I'm covered, whether it's gonna be for a return or for a loss. 5. Amex Venue Access. Now, this isn't exclusive just to the American Express Platinum, but I think it's definitely one worth calling out. So with an American Express card, you're gonna get some cool access features to various stadiums around the country, one of which is the Barclays Center down in Brooklyn. With American Express, you get VIP entry. You get 2 complimentary drinks, whether it be at the 4040 Club or at the Modelo Bar. You also get discounts when it comes to shopping. You'll also get 10% off concessions and a 10% discount when you shop through one of the Amex shop stores within the center. This is a pretty cool feature, especially if you go to the Barclays Center a lot, whether it be for games or for concerts, to have this quick little VIP quick entry into the stadium instead of waiting in the long lines. And here's a list of all the other venues around the country as well as around the world that give you some extra perks just by being an American Express member. Number 6, being able to add a free authorized user. Let's say you're in the points and miles game and you want to accumulate a ton of points, or you might have a spouse or a child going to college and you want to give them an emergency credit card. You don't know what to do. Maybe you don't want to open one for them. Whatever that is, you want to add an authorized user. Well, if you add a standard authorized user on the American Express Platinum, that's going to cost you $175 and you'll get 3 more American Express Platinum cards with associated features. However, you could opt to add a free authorized user to receive an American Express Gold card. Keep in mind though, the gold is just literally the color of the card, and what I mean by that is it's not the same as the publicly available American Express Gold card that's gonna earn 4x on grocery, 4x on dining. This gold card is gonna earn the same categories as the Platinum, but it's not gonna have the bells and whistles of the lounge access and the global entry credits and so forth. I would say this is largely gonna act as an emergency card for a child that might be going to college or just a spouse. But regardless, it's good to know that you can add free authorized users. Number 7, a $200 credit if you book hotels within the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection. So this is what I was talking about earlier when you're checking into a hotel and you're getting all these free benefits such as breakfast, late checkout, early check-in, upgrade based on availability. You also get a $100 experience credit per stay. This is definitely a feature I overlook because I'm always staying at Hyatt's, I'm always staying at Marriott's, I'm always staying at chains where I have elite status and I want to use the elite status. However, for non-chain hotels, this makes a ton of sense. One example I was able to find was booking the Shangri-La in Singapore. This comes in at a nightly rate of $285, but if you're able to apply the credit, it would only come in at $85 and you get all the associated benefits. The other place I would look to use this is places in Las Vegas where a lot of the hotels aren't necessarily associated to one chain. Now recently MGM and Marriott signed their deal, but you can see here you could book the Palazzo, which I don't believe is associated to any chain, and still get these features and benefits. And to take advantage is really straightforward. Just go to americanexpress.com, go to Amex Travel, search for travel, and you can filter specifically by the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection. And number 8, there are different flavors of the American Express Platinum. Way back in the day, there used to be, I believe, up to 4 flavors of the American Express Platinum. You had the original, you have the Schwab, you have the Morgan Stanley, you have the Ameriprise, and as well as the Mercedes-Benz. Yes, all of those different flavors of the American Express Platinum could have qualified you for a sign-up bonus. Nowadays, there's still a couple of flavors and they've dropped a couple, and the flavors available are the original, the Schwab flavor, as well as the Morgan Stanley flavor, in addition to the business flavors. The flavor that's particularly interesting is the Charles Schwab flavor of the American Express Platinum. First reason is, let's say if you had money invested already, whether it be in a retirement account or a brokerage account, and you moved it to Schwab and you hit certain minimum account thresholds, they'll actually give you a statement credit for your American Express Platinum. Now I will say, the thresholds are not light. The first threshold starts at $250,000 invested with Schwab, and they'll give you a $100 credit. If you have over $1 million with Schwab, they'll give you a $200 credit. When you have $10 million with Schwab, you'll get a $1,000 statement credit applied to American Express Platinum every single year. I recognize those gates are high. However, if I think about where people traditionally are, whether it be retirement or brokerage account, the $250,000 threshold is not something outrageous, and off the bat, you'll save $100 on your American Express Platinum, which the vanilla flavor does not offer anything of that nature. In addition, you can take your points that you earn from your American Express and cash them out at a rate of 1.5 1 to your Charles Schwab brokerage account, and whether it be invested or take it out as cash, you can do whatever you want. You don't need any sort of minimum balance. If you have the American Express Charles Schwab Platinum, you'll be able to cash out your points in that manner. And a question you probably have is, can you have multiple flavors at the same time? And the answer is yes. American Express actually sees them as different products. So you could have the vanilla flavor of the Platinum, you could then get the Schwab flavor of the Platinum, and you can even get the Morgan Stanley flavor of the Platinum, and you'll be able to get the sign-up bonus for each individual card. The Morgan Stanley Platinum also gives you some credits, but it takes a little bit more work than Schwab in the sense that you've got to open an account if you don't have it, have a certain minimum balance, have a certain direct deposit. And so I'm not as bullish on that one. However, the dollar threshold is lower, so maybe that could make sense. But for Schwab, I see it as, hey, if you've got brokerage accounts, retirement accounts, whatever, consolidate onto Schwab, knock $100 off, maybe even $200 off, and suddenly the American Express Platinum seems like a way more worthwhile card to keep year on year. And to share a little bit with y'all, I'm actually trying to open the American Express Charles Schwab Platinum. I've been holding off for forever. However, I literally went to apply earlier this week, and I'm in Amex pop-up jail. It's super frustrating because I haven't opened an American Express card in a rather long time. The only card I've opened from American Express in the past couple years is a business platinum, and that was an offer for 250,000 points after spending $30,000. Opened the card, spent it on taxes. Trust me, I didn't just swipe $30,000. Spent it paying some taxes, got the bonus, and now pop-up jail. Other cards I've opened this past year have been a couple of Chase cards, but on the business side, so nobody can really see that. So I am just boggled as to why it is I'm in pop-up jail. I spend pretty regularly on the regular platinum for things like purchase protection and travel. The business platinum, I put some business charges here and there on it, but I'm just sitting in pop-up jail. I'm sure some of you are there as well. I don't know what exactly to do other than to spend a little bit more money and try again, maybe say in 6 months. Regardless, as soon as I qualify for the Schwab Platinum, I'm definitely gonna open it and close my regular platinum so that I can pull in the $200 statement credit every single year. Cool, folks. Well, this has been the video. I would love to know, comment section down below. Did you know all these hidden features? Are you taking advantage of them currently? And what questions you might have for me? And again, any comments, suggestions, future video topics, whether it's credit cards, real estate, investing, maybe not tax, maybe tax if you're interested. And with that, I will catch you all next video. Peace.